Hello and welcome everybody. You are viewing Andrea, Ali and Lyndon's online presentation for ECL461 regarding our resource that we have created. So our resource is 7C's Language Conventions Guide. It is a multimodal website that we have created on Wix, and we have designed it for 7C at Tiny College Peter 9. We have designed this program because while I was on placement, I worked with this class and noticed that the students had very poor results in their practice NAPLAN test. So we as a group decided to do something about it to help the students and thought that the online website would be the perfect way to help them. Our presentation is going to begin with the main reason for why we made the resource. So we'll be showing you the results of the children's NAPLAN test. And then we'll be demonstrating the resource's homepage and key website features. After that, we'll be thoroughly exhibiting all of the resources tabs, including sound awareness, word structure, grammar, and punctuation. And to conclude our presentation, we will be analysing student and teacher feedback and having a discussion of our group collaboration. Here we have a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet of Class 7C's 2009 NAPLAN Language Conventions Practice Test results. This is a test that the teacher recently had them complete in order to see where each student is at for preparation in their upcoming NAPLAN. Looking at this spreadsheet at first may seem a bit overwhelming, so I'm just going to quickly break it down. On the left-hand side here, we have each student's name in the class. As you can see, Jafar and Namagambi were absent that day as they have no data recorded. At the top here, we have each question number, and in the middle here, the green shaded boxes with a 1 in the middle indicate that the child got the answer correct, whereas the red shaded boxes with a 0 in the middle indicate that the child got the answer incorrect. On the right hand side, we have each child's total out of 57, and as you can see, there is a wide range of abilities. At the bottom here, the numbers indicate how many students got each question correct. Writing underneath each box represents the topic or skill assessed in each question. So immediately the teacher or other user can see the class's areas of weakness. For example, commas, where only 2 students in the class got the answer correct. And strengths, for example, the A sound, where the majority of students in the class got the answer correct, all but 1. As a group, we decided to ensure our resource enables students in 7C to improve on their weakest areas. Therefore, areas where 50% or more of students failed have been included in our resource. This means that all areas which correlate with boxes that are 9 or below have been included in our resource. Some of these areas are able versus able, homophones, verb agreement, possessive pronouns, and prepositions, all of which are areas you will be able to see shortly. Now moving on to the fun part, here is the resource that we have created. As you can see, immediately the website is extremely colourful. It is also easy to navigate. We have made these factors our priority when designing and creating the resource in order to encourage students' engagement and interaction with the site. As you can also see, the homepage of the website has a message from us to Class C. It reads, "Hello and welcome Class 7C to the Language Conventions Guide we have made for you all especially. This website has everything you need to know about all the areas your class needs the most help on, including sound awareness, word structure, grammar, and punctuation. By exploring the site, you will not only be preparing for your NAPLAN test, but also improving the way you write your narratives, spell in dictations, read your stories, and the list goes on. So let's get started, and we hope you enjoy." This message aims to introduce the users to the online site in a personal and friendly manner. To ease the students' navigation of the website, these have also been hyperlinked, which we think is pretty cool. And there it is, the homepage of our resource. Now Ali will take you through sound awareness and word structure.
Now let's, for example, go to the first topic of sound awareness, and I'm just going to go to the first C versus the soft C sound. If a student is looking at this activity, they have visually right in front of them really quick, colourful examples of the first C and soft C examples. Up here, they have a definition, a short and easy explanation of what the first C is and what the soft C is. Then they also have the main rule to remember when learning these sounds. Scrolling down, they can go straight to the first C video. Click play and it will start automatically.
The hard K sound. C, cat.
Now I'm not going to play the whole video, but as you can see already, it is really, really helpful for auditory learners. It's loud and clear, and students can also listen to what they are learning as well as see it on the screen. There's also a video for the soft C sound, similar. And then you go down to the first activity. Now this is a word list activity. It asks you what to do here, and then students can print this off directly from this website and complete it in their books. It has been proven that including games both online and hands-on in the classroom can also be a very useful tool in increasing student engagement whilst also boosting their confidence and their skills. If I go to word structure up here and click on the doubling rule, I can click on this printable worksheet, which downloads automatically onto my computer, and then I can print it straight off. See how all of these resources are just so accessible at the screen, at the touch. When the user clicks on the topic that they wish to engage with, they're shown a range of videos, visual prompts, activities, rules, lots of different things. It's very easy to use and engages students a lot. Look at the colours, One advantage of this resource that we have created is that it can be incorporated to the English classroom using a variety of methods. For example, a teacher may choose to use the resource in an independent or teacher-directed learning approach. So the resource enables the students to learn independently, or they can also work in pairs, but however they are able to work at their own pace and levels, and that is based on how we've designed it, using their practice example NAPLAN results. For example, we've created a lesson plan here. So this is how the website, the resource, may be used in an independent learning approach with students. So students can independently utilise this resource, making use of the content which best suits their needs. This lesson plan shows that how students have been grouped according to the key areas in which they're struggling with when it comes to phonological sounds. So the intention is based on, a learning intention focuses on phonological awareness and practicing the long vowel sounds. So using the information from the spreadsheet here, we can easily look at phonological sounds and see how for the phonological E sound, these students with the red were the ones struggling with the E sound. Now on our lesson plan, we've grouped these students here, and we've also looked at those struggling with the A sound. So after going through the learning intention and the success criteria, a short warm-up will be demonstrated. Then students can independently work at their own pace, and groups, those that struggle with E will access the sound awareness, long vowel sounds. Then they will work through the long E sound. They will skip the long A and watch this video. and then they will download this worksheet straight onto their computer, print it off, and then circle the word in each set that starts with the long E sound. So it's very, very easy to use and allows students to work at their own pace and become more confident. Here we have a long vowel sound game, which they can click on, print off, and then complete in pairs. So the instructions are all there, and it's really, really easy to work through. So this independent learning early not only introduces students to life skills, but it has shown to increase their motivation and confidence while raising individual student awareness surrounding the limitations. Let's just have another bit of a browse to see what other activities we have on here. So we've got the NCE sound versus the NTS sound, a description, some examples, a word cloud activity. So brainstorm a list of words. Then they click on the highlighted word here and it takes them straight to the website in which we expect them to create the Wordle. Just that one click. Unscramble the word. They can either print this activity off, stick it in their book and do it, or they can unscramble the list of words in their own book by writing them out. We've looked at those two. We've got the I before E rule in word structure. So again, those students that on their NAP plan results were seen to be struggling with the I before E rule would be directly shown this link and they can work through it independently, work at their own pace. A printable activity, a video, and then a spelling test. So they could even do that as homework. Not only is this resource really beneficial because it is interactive, can be used in the classroom, but because students have a 1 computer to 1 student ratio and their laptop that they take home every night, they can also complete this as homework. So the teacher might say, okay, tonight we are going to go home and focus on the word structure, the magic E, and students can individually go through these activities. Again, another SoundCloud audio activity. And we've got the answers down here, but these would be hidden for the students. Homophones. Really, really clear visuals there. Another video, and then a game. These can be played individually or in a group. Tricky word endings. Another worksheet. Silent letters. And the doubling rule once again. So all of the references that we use to come up with these activities and worksheets are listed here at the bottom, but a lot of them we did make up ourselves. So not only can this be used in the classroom for independent learning, Lyndon will go on to talk about how our second lesson plan is for a teacher-directed lesson, and he will discuss how the teacher could actually use the same resource to benefit student learning in a teacher-directed approach.
So now we move on to the grammar section. This section gives us a quick description of what grammar is, what it does, and the topics that it falls under. These topics are listed right here, as well as the drop-down box right up here. We first focus on nouns. Now, this noun section gives us a brief description of what nouns are and a few specific examples. This section includes a short and specific video that we can watch and click right here, which will link to YouTube. Within this section are proper versus common nouns. Students can explore their knowledge through this worksheet below, as well as having the description of what proper and common nouns actually are. We now move on to possessive pronouns. This section itself is quite limited in its description and the activity, where it is best suited as a teacher-directed approach because we've chosen to give the answers down the bottom of the question. If it was a student-directed and students were to complete this online, they would more than likely cheat and look at the answers. The next section is the preposition. This section itself focuses on giving the specific vocabulary when understanding prepositions. This table gives us an extensive list of prepositions that they can utilize and refer back to when they need. A teacher could utilize this as a handout or perhaps have them stick it in their workbooks. Following this, there is an activity that they can choose to utilize where they identify the preposition within the sentence. There is also a game that they can click on down the bottom, which will link to a new website, which is here, and work through online. The next section is verbs. So this verb section is a little bit different to most of the sections that we've done so far, where it relies on imagery. We get the students to make sense of the images and relating them to the words. Where a verb is an action word, we want them to describe the action of this image. So for this one, my friends make me laugh. Or this one, I can hear the train. This is below. There are a brief few examples of linking verbs to tense. The beauty of this is that students can actually understand the linkingness to the verbs, but it also allows teachers to further this and even create their own if they wish. But they've just got that example in front of them. Below this, there is another printable worksheet that they can click on and we'll download for them. As you can see, downloads. And also a game which you can press, and they thoroughly enjoy games, so we find that it's very effective to include them. We now move to the punctuation section. So it's the same as the grammar section, where punctuation we've given a brief description, as well as a short video to explain it, and all the topics covered within. The first one is speech marks, where it gives a brief description and a short video. This section we found that was done quite well by the students. So we chose to include two worksheets. One worksheet was for the normal band of students, and then there's also a worksheet which works with the more advanced students and aims to test them a little bit more and push them a little bit outside their comfort zone. So the next section is the apostrophe showing possession. So the possession apostrophe. This section is highlighted by its correct and incorrect examples. By highlighting both, we found that giving students the difference is very, very effective, because then they can make the sense of which is incorrect and which is not. There's also a short clip and a worksheet that they can click on here. This worksheet is in the form of a PDF file, so that means that the teacher would have to print this off for the student to be able to use it because they can't edit on their computers. We now focus on the comments section. So this section is of specific interest to us because we have chosen to include this within our lesson and lesson plan. So if we move over to our lesson plan, we can see that the resource is right there and easily available. If I click on that, this page will come up straight away. So this lesson itself has been designed around a teacher-directed approach. This means that the teacher is directing the class. The benefit of this is that the approach enables the ability for the teachers to monitor student progress. This can be done in a number of ways. The student can be done by student assessment, certain tests, a general observation throughout the whole class, and even just simply checking for understanding. So, do you know how to explain what this means? Or can you describe to me what this means? Are simple techniques that teachers can use. So we now move on to the comma section, which is the main process of our lesson. We know that the comma section, according to our pre-testing results, that all the students found it difficult to complete this task. So that's why we do not have to differentiate between any of the students, and we can work on it as a classroom activity. So we first want to know, do these students understand what punctuation is? Punctuation falls as the main topic for commas. So we can utilize the resource in this scenario. We can go back to the punctuation section, and we have a definition. Getting the students to raise their hands and effectively communicate to the teacher and as a whole class, they can describe what they think punctuation means before giving them the real definition. Getting them to write down in books is a simple way for them to try and recall and remember in the future. From here, we give a short clip, which is this one here, which will link to YouTube and play straight away. Only 30 seconds, but it's a quick and engaging way to get them interested. Now we directly focus on commas. We know that the comma section, of course, was something that we need to focus on as a class as a whole, so that's why the whole class approach in this will be very, very effective. The next activity involves the clip on the commas. So another YouTube clip, seeing as though we just watched a video, we can watch another one. From here, we press play, and it will show a 2-minute video specific to commas. So students will begin to understand why we use commas and what their main uses are. From this video, we can move on to the next activity that is entirely up to the teacher's discretion of how they want to command the correct uses of commas. They can choose to either put this website up on a smartboard or even have the students write it out and copy it into their workbooks. Students will more likely gain a better benefit out of writing it down in their workbooks themselves, but that is entirely up to the teacher. From here and into our final reflection of the class, we'll ask the class to come up with their own examples of how to successfully utilize the use of commas. Getting students to write down 1 or 2 sentences and then presenting that to the class as a whole, and having those peers assess whether or not they have successfully used those commas is an effective way to check for understanding as a whole class, as well as continually engaging students in the whole activity. That is how we can best utilize this section. We didn't have to utilize all the examples, but it's just a brief example of how you can utilize 1 or 2 activities listed in our resource.
Thanks, Lyndon. Now moving on to feedback. Here is an email that I received recently from my mentor teacher regarding the resource that we have created. I'll give you a moment to read it. As you may see, the teacher has engaged with the resource in a teacher-directed learning approach whereby she has divided the class up into their focus groups and have told them which sites to access according to the learning needs. The teacher has also mentioned how engaged the students were the whole time, which makes us really happy to hear as we have put a lot of time into the resource and trying to make it as interactive and engaging as possible. So we believe that the combination of colours, the way it is easy to navigate, the videos, sound, games, etc. have all played a huge role in making this resource engaging for the students. Moving on to some feedback that we have received from students. Here is a comment that we received from Micaiah. So Micaiah mentions how he used the resource for homework and that he actually liked doing it for homework. And this makes us really happy to hear. We have designed it so that students can also go home and, interact with it in a independent learning approach whereby they get to choose what they access according to what they want to. So this makes us really happy to hear. Here's a comment from April. So April has said that she's now feeling much more confident for her NAPLAN test, which was the purpose of our resource. So thank you, April. And lastly, a comment from Seda. So she mentions how the teacher sometimes incorporates it into her classes, which makes us very happy to hear. The way we have designed it is so that, it can be incorporated into classes as homework, etc. So this is good. Thank you, Sada. Lastly, to conclude this presentation, I'd just like to have a quick word regarding our collaboration. So at the beginning of this unit, as off-campus students, we all felt very nervous about this assignment. Finding a group, let alone a reliable one, seemed quite the impossible task, and the thought of having to organise an assignment with strangers was daunting. However, looking back now, we are so pleased with the collaboration of our group and the work that we have produced. Our organisation and communication skills meant that we met each other early on in the trimester through Cloud and planned the assignment weeks in advance. We regularly chatted online and held the occasional meeting where necessary. Our group has demonstrated great teamwork skills, such as supporting one another in times of difficulty. In summary, we believe that our group has worked together to create a highly engaging, interactive, and informative learning resource, and we hope that you think so too. Thank you for watching.